Hey y'all, I'm Val with Our Forever Farm. It's a beautiful, hot day outside. Yesterday, I made a pizza with this dough, and I had this leftover dough. Today, I'm going to take this and make cinnamon rolls. And I'm going to put them, after I make the cinnamon rolls, put them together. I'm going to put them back in the refrigerator so we can have cinnamon rolls in the morning for breakfast. It's going to be great. We're also going to start our 7-day refrigerator sweet pickles. And I'll show you day by day what to do on that. Then we're going to start our cowboy candy. We got a lot to do. I'm feeling better. I'm not up to par. I'm feeling better. Oh yeah, we're cooking Cubesteak gravy and biscuits today too. So we got a lot to do. Let's get busy on these cinnamon rolls first.
So I'm not going into detail about this dough yet because I've got a video in the process of how to make this dough. You're going to love this. It makes all kinds of things. Today we're just whipping up some cinnamon rolls for breakfast. I'm actually making some for today too.
So the cinnamon rolls are smelling really good, but they're not done. I may have to put, oh, it's my alarm on my refrigerator. I had to think what that is. Dang. I may have to put some foil over the top of them to keep them from getting brown. I'm washing my jalapeños now, and I'm getting everything out of my refrigerator. And look what I found. I found more cucumbers. Now, believe it or not, we are still cleaning out my refrigerators. I've got 2. We ain't even got to the cleaning part yet, y'all. So I think I'm going to go check my other refrigerator and make sure I don't have any more cucumbers down there because I want to get those all done. That brown sugar is oozing out there and it smells so good, but I don't want to. Sorry, y'all. I don't want that brown sugar to burn on top of those cinnamon rolls. So now I'm going to check downstairs to see if I got cucumbers in the refrigerator. If y'all only knew how many times I go up and downstairs. I did find bell peppers, no more cucumbers. So, and I did get me a Sprite because I feel like I'm starting to cough some. What I'm going to do with these, and we'll do these today too, is just a small batch of bell peppers. I'm going to chop those up and flash freeze them and put them in a Ziploc bag. I've got my jalapenos. I've got them soaking in water, and I'm going to slice those. I may not do the cowboy candy today. I may just prepare it. And we've got our cinnamon rolls that are done. They're really dark brown because of the brown sugar, but they're ready and cooling. They look so good, y'all. And I'm going to make the icing.
Now, this same day is when we started our 7-day sweet refrigerator pickles. And I'll link this in the description box because we've already done a video on this. So far, I'm just showing you bits and pieces of my day. Here we're making the cinnamon roll icing. And the reason I'm not giving the details on this is because there's an upcoming video with the dough, the cinnamon rolls, and many other things it'll make. I'm very excited to show you this, so keep watching.
Perfect. I ate most of this before the star of the show comes on. Yep, star of the show is Coke. So, let's talk just a little bit. Okay, so 2 or 3 days ago, 2 or 3 videos ago, in your case, I started cleaning out my refrigerators. During the summer, your refrigerators are packed. If you're a canner or a freezer or a dehydrator or whatever you do, if you have a garden, if you buy at the farmer's market, it's packed. And my goal was to get everything put up that was in my refrigerator. I'm going to do a lot of that today and tomorrow. My goal is to get my, sorry, I'm making cinnamon roll, is to get my refrigerators just about empty. The one downstairs, my old rusted refrigerator that I love, it's just about empty. I love that. I want to scrub the inside. I want to clean them both really good. And then it'll be time to go to the grocery store. I haven't been to the grocery store. I might have been to pick up something here or there, but I haven't been since before Sweet Hunter's surgery. And I spent a lot of money to get ready for that. But there are things that I'm running out of that I need to get. So that's my whole point, is to get my refrigerators ready, finished with the summer and ready for the winter. Now, I also can and preserve food in the winter. That's my favorite time to do it. I'm fixing to plant a fall garden, but it won't take up a lot of my refrigerator space because I'll put that up as quick as I get it. I'm also organizing my freezers and doing inventory on that. I want to get that done before winter. It's almost September. We'll be married 45 years September the 1st, y'all. But, okay, my break's over. I'm going to take another sip of Coke. I'm going to start chopping up jalapeños. This is delicious. Promise this dough recipe's coming.
But first, we need to lay out this Cubesteak. I told y'all we were going to cook on this video. This is actually deer Cubesteak. It's our favorite meat.
So yesterday, I promised Sweet Hunter some Cubesteak. So that's what I just laid out. So now I'm going to marinate it in buttermilk. This is the way Sweet Hunter's granny used to do it.
If I'm correct, every meat she was going to fry, she marinated in buttermilk. And let me tell you, she was the best cook in the whole world. One day I'll show you how she fried chicken. Hers was the best.
We're just going to set this aside over here on the counter while I tie together a few things. I'm going to chop up my bell pepper. I'm going to chop up my jalapeno peppers. And I'm going to put them in a bowl, bag them up, and have them ready for tomorrow. And then fry this Cubesteak, make some biscuits, and then make some gravy. And supper's done. So what I'm doing is I'm washing all the jalapenos, and I'm putting them in a colander and setting it in a bowl. And yes, I have gloves on. I very seldom will cut a jalapeno without gloves. I do it when I have one or two, but that's all. Now I'm going to chop these up and get them prepared for tomorrow.
So we're making cowboy candy tomorrow. What I'm doing here is I'm slicing my jalapenos, and then I'm taking my thumb and fingers and I'm just popping the core out and getting as many seeds out as I can where it won't be so hot. Sweet Hunter doesn't like it really, really hot. Actually, I don't either. Have you ever eat cowboy candy? If you haven't, you need to make sure and watch for this video because this is absolutely delicious. This always makes me think of the holidays.
Okay, y'all, I got all my dishes washed. I just put them over here on the counter on a towel. I'm glad they're done. So we've got these done, and I was going to bag these up, but what's the point? Because I'm going to do them in the morning. These are ready to flash freeze. This is bell peppers, red and green. I'll flash freeze them, put them in a Ziploc bag. So, and then I've got my Cubesteak marinating, so we'll do it next. Always something to do, always. Okay, y'all, I'm pretty pooped, but I want to get this supper done. And I normally don't go into detail about my biscuits unless I'm doing a big biscuit day. I think I've done a couple of biscuit videos, but I have had several people ask me lately how to make biscuits. Now, I have several videos on. But today, I'm going to make the whitelilybiscuits, which is probably my all-time favorite and the most economical. My favorite, most popular video on my channel is the 2-ingredient biscuit video, the old one. I've got 2 on. So, but today we're making the White Lily homemade biscuits. And I'm going to measure it out. I never measure, but I'm going to measure it out for you. So y'all excuse the mess behind. I haven't put any of that up. I got to get this supper done, and then I'm going to put that up, and then I'm quitting for the day. So I keep my flour a little bit in jars, and this is self-rising flour. This calls for 2 cups of self-rising flour. And that was just about enough. Now, I've got to fill my jar back up, so I went down to the freezer and got some flour, which I'll do that later. And yes, I keep my flour in the freezer. I keep a little bit in here to do me for the week, but most of the time, all my flour bags are in the freezer. If you don't know this, when you buy these from the grocery store, there are bug eggs in here. Freezing this will kill them. People say, well, you're eating the eggs. Yes, but I hate to tell you, but you do it in everything. So now this calls for 1/4 cup of shortening, and I just use the off-brand. Let me get it. I have my oven set to 475. I never measure, y'all. Let me see. Maybe they'll turn out really good. So I got 1/4 cup of shortening, and I'm just putting it in the bowl of the flour. Now, a lot of people use pastry blenders. You can use whatever you want. Some people use 2 forks. I use my hands. I've always heard that a good cook uses her hands. So make sure your hands are washed good. And what you want to do with a pastry blender or 2 forks, let me get a towel to put under this or something that's going to make noise when we do this. So pastry blender, 2 forks, hands. I choose hands. And you're just going to squash this shortening up until it's like little peas. And you just want to squash this up. You're just blending this to where those little shortenings are distributed all the way through your flour. You don't want to work your flour too much, but you got to get it all mixed in. Now, that's that on that. See, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it looks just like little pieces of, like little peas or something in there. You don't want any big pieces in there. So before I do any more, I want to take my pan. I use an iron skillet. You can use what you want. You can use a cookie sheet. You can use whatever. And I'm just going to grease it where my biscuits won't stick. Just like that. So now I've washed my hands again. You have to wash them several times during this process. And I'm going to use buttermilk. Now, I prefer the whole cultured buttermilk. I never knew there was a difference till my best friend Vicky told me that. She said there is definitely a difference in whole cultured buttermilk, and I guess it's the light buttermilk. I don't know. I haven't bought it in so long. I'm going to use 3/4 cup of buttermilk. And by the way, if you've never made Vicky's cornbread, go look it up, and I'll link that in the description box. And we're just going to pour this in and stir it up. Now, I'm just going to pour it in. Now, if you use milk, you use about 2/3 cup, I think is what White Lily says. And then I just stir this up. Now, if you need a little more buttermilk, put a little bit more buttermilk. If you need a little bit more flour, put a little bit more flour. But this is the exact recipe that White Lily suggests using. Now, it's all stirred together and all come together, and it's somewhat wet. But I'm going to leave it just like that. Get rid of my spoon, and then I am going to get some flour, because you will be adding flour as you work this dough. Now, I just sprinkle a little bit on top, and then I try to form a ball with this. Like I say, if it's too wet, just add this flour right here that you're working with your hands. This will be enough. Just put it on the side and keep your hands floured. You want to work it just a little bit to form a ball. So you do want to knead this dough just a little bit. Not much, because the more you work biscuits, the tougher they are. I hope you can see that. I'm just kneading it just a little bit, just to form a ball. Now, there it is. Now, you can cut these biscuits or you can roll them. Now, most of the time, when I'm not on video, I just roll them. And all I do is take a little bit of the dough and I just roll them up. And this is how I roll them right here. And I'll try to slow that down for you and show you. And that's how it turns out. And I just put it on the pan over there and mash it down. Now you want to try to make these biscuits about the same size because they'll cook better and eat more evenly if they're the same size. If you need a little more flour, get a little more flour on your hands.
I love to roll biscuits. Let's put it in slow motion just a little bit so you can see it. So what I'm doing is making a ball with the dough, and then I take my fingers and I just tuck the dough underneath. Just the whole time, my goal is to make a little ball. Then when I put it in the pan, I press it down with my fingers. Can you see it? Now this takes a lot of practice, years and years of practice, so don't give up. And also remember, the more you work a biscuit, well, the biscuit dough, the tougher your biscuit will be. So you want to knead it, get it done, roll your biscuits out or cut them. You can cut them. I've showed you that many times too. And just get them in the oven. My Granny Gribble had a cabinet that was like a big drawer. It was on the bottom of her countertop. And she would pull it out, and inside there was flour with her sifter and her biscuit bowl. I'll never forget it. It's a sweet memory of mine, and I would watch her make biscuits. You know, we're talking about bringing us all home. Here's a prime example of bringing us home. Make some biscuits. Teach your children. Teach your grandchildren.
So I've got our mess cleaned up. This is the way I press the biscuits when I put it in. So you can basically see my 3 little fingerprints on here. And that's the way I do them. Now they're ready to go into a preheated oven at 475, 8 to 10 minutes. Now at this point, you can put melted butter on it right now if you want to. I prefer to wait till they're out of the oven. So I was trying to decide what pan to use. I think I'm going to use my 17-inch pan to make this Cubesteak in. So I'm going to put a little oil in here. I'm not going to show you exactly how to make that because I have a video on this too, but I'll show you what I'm doing. And I'll link that video in the description box. So I'm just going to put just a little bit of oil to cover the bottom of the pan. I'm going to turn my eye on and get my oil hot. We are ready to start our Cubesteak. Our biscuits are probably just about done.
All I'm doing here is taking the Cubesteak that has been marinated in the buttermilk, and I'm dipping it in flour. I want to get flour on every little crevice of that Cubesteak. Now this is deer steak. It doesn't matter if it's beef or what. Beef is a little bit tougher. Deer steak is very tender. And that's all we're doing. We've got our oil hot, and we're placing it in the pan to fry. And like I say, I have a video that I've already done on frying Cubesteak that I'll link in the description box. And if you prefer beef and you want to get it tender, fry it just like I'm frying it and put it in the crock pot for a little while. I'm telling you, it will tenderize it. People don't realize that a crock pot is a secret weapon. I'm telling you. It's another way to bring us home. And here's another little tip that might help.
Try to move one of these before they're good and brown on the bottom. They will stick. See, that one's good on both sides. Beautiful. So I just about forgot about my biscuits. Let's see. I don't know if I can lift it with that hot pad. I don't know how dependable that is. All my hot pads are. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Now I'm going to put some melted butter on these. I said melted butter. I use soft butter. I keep it out in my kitchen, but I use real butter. And this is the time you want to butter your biscuits. Now you can butter them with just the dough, but I love to butter them just like this. Just rub butter all over the top. Don't that look good? Y'all, anybody can do this. I showed you the exact recipe on how to do this. This is great. These are perfect.
Now here, I've just put some parchment paper over a pan because I don't want to wash the pan, and some paper towels to drain the Cubesteak. And I'm getting it out of the pan, getting ready to make the gravy.
The way I make gravy, I have a cup of water sitting here. I've opened a can of evaporated milk. You can use fresh milk if you want to. Whole milk, 2% milk, skim milk, whatever you want. I think this one's done, so we're going to get it up, put it up. Now, if that isn't good, my goodness gracious.
And here again, I'm not going into the details of making this because I have a video on making gravy, and I'll link it in the description box. But all you're doing is cooking your flour. I love those little bits of the breading off the meat in my gravy. It just makes it so good. And here I'm adding my evaporated milk. A lot of people use milk, and that's fine. Use whatever you want. This is just my preference. Now at this point, I turn my eye off because my iron skillets keep cooking. They stay very hot. And if it gets too thick, just add that water. That's what that cup of water's there for. If it gets too thin, just add a little flour. Now at this point, I add salt and pepper. You can add whatever you want. Look at this. Doesn't this look delicious? Now I'm telling y'all, if this doesn't bring you back home, nothing will.
Well, y'all, I think that deserves the rest of my Coke. So supper's done. I've got my jalapeños ready. They're ready to make cowboy candy in the morning. I've got my bell peppers ready to flash freeze in the freezer. I'll show you one more time what we've done today. We've made cinnamon rolls. I also made a couple of more jars. Let me show you this. A couple of more jars of the cucumber and onion mix, and I'm pretty sure I've got a video on that. So we have Cubesteak, deer Cubesteak, fried in my 17-inch pan, along with gravy, homemade white lily biscuits, and I showed you exactly how to do that.
So we also did cinnamon rolls today, and that video on the dough that makes this will be coming up soon. Keep watching for that. Somebody's already been in those cinnamon rolls. And we've started on our 7-day pickles. This was the first day. I've got a video on that. I'll link it in the description box. There's my salsa verde that I did. And there's a video on that. I'll link it too. We did a lot, y'all. And then we sliced our jalapenos. And in the morning, we'll be making cowboy candy. I've got the bell peppers sliced and ready to flash freeze to package up for the freezer. Look at all this. We've done a lot. Y'all really, really encourage me. I mean, you really do. It helps me to know that somebody's out there watching. Look at this gravy. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, but it's just perfect. Gravy and biscuits is one of my favorite things. And your comments, they mean so much to us. Even if I don't get to respond to all of them, please know that we appreciate them and we read every one of them. Also the mail and the gifts. Thank y'all so much. As much as y'all encourage me, I hope that we have a part in encouraging you. You know, there's a quote out there that says home is the nicest word I know. And it is. Let's bring us all back home.
Y'all go cook something. I've enjoyed it.